last 10 years, Real Flix has explored the finest in filmmaking throughout the years. From Singing in the Rain to Goodfellas, Miyazaki's Spirited Away to Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket, touching every genre imaginable. This season, we look back at the Oscar nominees for Best Picture and the winners over the last 10 years. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Flix, the Oscar Best Picture edition. Today, we look at 3 nominees and the winner from 2012, Life of Pi, Les Miserables, Django Unchained, and Argo. And later on, we'll look into the 2019 winner for Best Picture, Parasite. Joining me on this trip are Rosa Gallavati, Zach Katz, and later I'll be joined by Ryan Dunn and Brian Morrissey as we feature the best of 2012. First up, it's Rosa Gallavati with Life of Pi.
In 2012, a fresh face hit the movie screen. Suraj Sharma is Pai Patel in Life of Pi. Life of Pi is a story about a boy, Pai Patel, who becomes the lone human survivor among animals on a lifeboat after a storm. But Pai quickly retreats to a small raft for safety from a tiger named Richard Parker. He later realizes that he has to be his own hero, and caring for the tiger is helping him keep himself alive.
You're a legend among sailors. Out there, all alone.
I wasn't alone out there. Richard Parker was with me.
Richard Parker.
This next part of the story, you may find hard to believe.
So your story does have a happy ending.
Well, that's up to you.
Life of Pi.
Yeah, remarkable movie, remarkable color contrast, just big epic scenes and a really compelling story. How long did this thing take to edit?
So Tim Squires was the editor, and it took him 2 years to edit.
Why did it take so long?
Because the film was shot in 3D, so he had to wear 3D glasses almost every day for those 2 years.
Oh, that must have been interesting. Now, there's a lot of animals in here. In this age of CGI, you know, you can really create any animal you want in CGI, but this wasn't all CGI animals, was it?
No, it wasn't. There were actually 4 live tigers on set.
Yeah. Now, in terms of film locations, oftentimes a soundstage, like a Hollywood soundstage, is really easy to spot, but this was really a much more unique soundstage.
This is a fictional story directed by Ang Lee. Pai survives a shipwreck and floats in a lifeboat on the Pacific Ocean. This Oscar nominee really stands out because it was shot in an elaborate water tank. An abandoned airport was refitted with a large water tank holding 1.7 million gallons of water for this movie. That's the largest wave pool in film history. Visual effects company Rhythm and Hues made the ocean look very realistic. Watch this sequence as Pai begins to understand the importance of its tiger.
I thought a small piece of shade could bring me so much happiness. That a pile of tools, a bucket, a knife, a pencil might become my greatest treasures, or that knowing Richard Parker was here might ever bring me peace. In times like these, I remember that he has as little experience of the real world as I do. We were both raised in a zoo by the same master. Now we've been orphaned, left to face our ultimate master together. Without Richard Parker, I would have died by now. My fear of him keeps me alert. Tending to his needs gives my life purpose.
You know, it just occurred to me, looking at the contrast of the water and the orange tiger, that there are other pops of orange in there that really make the orange stand out altogether. Probably a very conscious decision, but a really stunning looking film. Anyways, as we continue this trek through 2012, now it's Zach Katz as he presents Les Miserables.
In 2012, people wanted to see Argo, Django, but some people chose to see Les Miserables, a movie documenting the struggle of the French people against their local kings, starring Hugh Jackman and Anne Hathaway, who in turn won multiple awards for their work on the film. Jean Valjean, played by Jackman, is a prisoner that is freed by Javert, played by Russell Crowe, and breaks his parole agreement and uses money he raised from stealing to reinvent himself as a mayor and a local factory businessman. Now, let's check out the trailer for Tom Hopper's 2012 Les Miserables.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high, life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. But the tigers come at night with their voices soft as thunder.
You know, oftentimes in a musical, they'll cast actors for their acting ability, but not necessarily for the singing ability. You can always dub that in, but not with this movie.
No, with Les Miserables, they all filmed, everything was done live in big production, almost similar to a musical, but just with a camera setup, really. Everything was shot all live, and all the song and dance is all live. And
yeah, and just the intimate sound of a microphone right in front of somebody, you can really tell the difference between that and a studio recording that's been dubbed in later. Now, this is an epic movie in scope and in just historical significance. And Tom Hooper really used a lot of maybe television techniques, I guess I'd call them, for the filming of this movie.
Yeah, he used a 3 multi-camera setup in a half circle to get all of these big productions, almost like they were on a stage, but just in a city of France, basically. And he utilized like bird's eye view to get sweeping angles down, and Dutch angle views to get the nice pop of the lapels for the men's jackets and all that. So it came together quite nice.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, there's a lot of movies to go see that year, and this was really up against some stiff competition.
Yeah, it played to a certain demographic for sure. The film was nominated at the Academy for Best Picture of 2012, only to beat by Argo. Of course, with the film being a musical, it struck chords with a very different demographic, especially considering all the actors' previous works. Jackman, known more famously as Wolverine, is charged with protecting the now-passed character of Hathaway's daughter, who Javert is desperately trying to get. Based off the book by Victor Hugo from the early 1800s, the movie comes together quite nicely. The director, Tom Hopper, made sure the camera never feels it's stationary, with big sweeping angles and utilizing lots of bird's eyes of an old France. The movements of the camera almost seem as natural as a veteran's cast. Hopper's ability to allow the camera to move wherever it is why big cinematic shots of the city or big productions of song and dance work so well. The film won multiple sound and cinematography awards from institutions like the BAFTAs.
Again, just like Life of Pi, those pops of colors, the reds and the blues up against that dusty background, really is a stark contrast and interesting looking. Anyways, that is it for our first segment here on Real Flix. But did you know that the winner of the most Academy Awards of anybody is none other than Walt Disney himself? 29 Oscars from 1932 to 1969. The last one was the Best Animated Short, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. We'll see you on the other side of the break as you watch Real Flix, the 2012 Oscar edition, right now.
It's a great way to get started, specifically for architecture and interior design. Even if you're thinking of transferring to one of the top programs in the country, getting familiar with how to design the vocabulary, the terminology, and then you can take that knowledge onto an upper level program. And if you're looking to get a job after 2 years, I think the program prepares you as well as any program can for what you're going to experience in the real world.
Being community college, we want to represent the community that we're in, and most of our rosters are filled with students from the local community. And I think there's a lot of great institutional pride in the success our teams have seen. I'm always very careful to call our students student athletes because I really believe that that's the purpose, that they're here first and foremost to be students. And so just in our building, in the SRC Arena in Allen Hall, we do have some facilities specifically to support their academic needs.
What brought me to OCC is an opportunity to pursue a higher education and inspire other people. One of the things that I like that OCC provides not only me but the students at OCC to be successful, I would say the Learning Center. The Learning Center is a center where you could get tutoring from, and they have great tutors there. I recommend someone to come to OCC is because of all the different resources that they have.
The EMC program allowed me to learn everything that I use every day in my current career. Interviewing people for the first time, I learned here the way you act and carry yourself out in the field is very important because you're representing a company, you're representing a station. Just getting that experience here was huge because when I first started there, I saw these assignments I was getting and I realized I've done this before. It was just like a continuation from right here.
So 11 Oscars for probably the most overacted movies I think I've ever seen. Ben-Hur 1959 and Lord of the Rings Return of the King in 2003. Now, I don't think any other movie has won that many Oscars than those two. So anyways, welcome back. You're watching Real Flix, the 2012 Best Oscar Edition. Joining me now is Ryan Dunn and Brian Morrissey as we look at our next nominee and winner. First up, it's Ryan with Django Unchained.
The message being portrayed in Django is one of struggle and hardship, as Jamie Foxx's character's mind state is put to the test. This story has it all, ranging from action and violence to bits and pieces of comedy and some romance as well. Django Unchained is one of many stories of the terrible lives many slaves endured during the early publicly racist times of America. Quentin Tarantino has had a very successful career in filmmaking, and the success of Django was no different. This movie had some serious star power to it. Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson, both having important yet electrifying characters that helped make this movie one of the best of 2012.
So you really free?
Yes.
You mean you want to dress like that?
Smooth is more important than fast. More important than smooth is accurate.
I like the way you die, boy.
Oh.
I lived my whole life here in Candyland, surrounded by black faces. Everything you see is my property. I ain't impressed. Well, I've heard tell about you.
Bullseye.
Something up with these two. Them old boys done rode a lot of miles, went to a lot of trouble just to get that gal.
Hey, little troublemaker.
You silver-tongued devil, you.
They playing your ass for a fool.
Your boss looks a little green around the gills. I'm just a little more used to Americans than he is.
It's time to rescue your wife.
That's what I'm doing. I'm getting dirty.
Y'all ain't gonna make it out of this county alive.
Sons of bitches!
No doubt.
You know, you can even see from the splatters of blood in the thing that Tarantino's obsessed by violence.
Yeah.
So you see some really familiar Tarantino staples here. Christoph Waltz, Samuel L. Jackson, and now Leonardo DiCaprio. But there's a new face in here for Tarantino movies that wasn't necessarily the first choice, was it?
No, yeah, Jamie Foxx plays Django, but he actually was the second choice after Will Smith. They offered Will Smith the role, and he actually turned it down because Django wasn't the lead.
What a diva. I wonder what else he was looking at the time. Tarantino is really kind of noted for dialogue, really interesting and stylized dialogue.
Yeah.
And this movie is a great example of that.
Yeah, his works are characterized by dialogue the film's much more driven by dialogue than most films today, whereas it's all action-based. And the dialogue works because it's so suspenseful. They put in a pledge, is what you call it, at the beginning a lot of the time of scenes, and that's where it like promises something's gonna happen next. And then there's all this dialogue, and then the thing happens, and it just keeps the audience really engaged.
Yeah, as in this next scene we're going to talk about, where he really gets this, embraces the idea of this quiet setting just before, all hell breaks loose, in this upcoming thing we're going to feature here.
This film won numerous awards, including an Academy Award for Best Screenplay, along with co-star Christoph Waltz winning an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Waltz is no stranger to the spotlight, also having prominent roles in the James Bond series and starring as the father in the 2019 film Alita: Battle Angel. The film had lots of underlying details and general feel of certain moments. The camera close-ups and the background of this next scene set the mood of the rest of the story in a way that is not favorable to Django.
What's your name, boy?
His name is Django Freeman.
Where'd you dig him up?
Well, a fortuitous turn of events brought Django and myself together.
I've heard tell about you. I heard you've been telling everybody that Mandingos ain't no damn good. Ain't nothing nobody is selling is worth buying. I'm curious. What makes you such a Mandingo expert?
I'm curious what makes you so curious.
What did you say, boy?
Calm down, Butch. No offense given. None taken.
Monsieur Condé, I'd appreciate...
Outside of Leo's piercing blue eyes, everything else in that scene is, hell red. Anyways, as we continue, now it's Brian Morrissey with Ben Affleck's Argo.
With big Hollywood names like Ben Affleck and George Clooney, it was not a surprise that Argo won its Oscar for Best Picture. Based on true events and the influence from the books Master of Disguise and The Great Escape, gave Ben Affleck, the director and lead actor of the movie, to captivate the courage and strength it took for the 6 people of the United States Embassy staff in Iran to escape being held hostage by Iranian Islamists after they stormed the United States Embassy. With 6 Americans on the loose in the hostile city of Tehran, the U.S. State Department began to explore options for exfiltration of the secret escapees back home to friendly soil.
Have shocked the civilized world.
Let's go, let's go!
Our embassy has been seized and more than 60 American citizens continue to be held as hostages.
We need to go now.
What happened? 6 of the hostages went out a back exit.
Where are they? The Canadian ambassador's house.
Got Revolutionary Guards going door to door. These people die. They die badly.
What we like for this are bicycles.
Or you could just send in training wheels and meet them at the border with Gatorade.
It's gonna take a miracle to get them out.
I got an idea.
They're a Canadian film crew for a science fiction movie. I fly into Tehran. We all fly out together as a film crew.
I need you to help me make a fake movie.
So you want to come to Hollywood and act like a big shot without actually doing anything?
Yeah.
You'll fit right in.
You need a script?
Argo, science fantasy adventure. Moonscape, Mars, desert. They need an exotic location to shoot.
You need a producer.
If I'm doing a fake movie, it's going to be a fake hit.
You don't have a better bad idea than this? This is the best bad idea we have, sir. By far. You have 72 hours to get them out.
They're getting a visitor.
You gotten people out this way before?
No.
You're asking us to trust you with our lives. This is what I do, and I've never left anyone behind.
They know who they are, and they know they're hiding out.
It's over, Tony. If they stay here, they will be taken.
Probably not alive.
We're responsible for these people.
I'm responsible. It's time to go.
don't know what is it about the 70s and those ridiculously big glasses.
Yeah.
You know, but even besides that, the costumes, the colors, the hairstyles, it was all 1970s, and I remember it well. This movie did a really good job of depicting that. But seeing Bryan Cranston, a television actor, you know, he made his kind of mark in Breaking Bad and things like that. Seeing him in this really shows his chops as an actor.
Yeah, with his start at Seinfeld, the comedy, and then his role from Breaking Bad as Walter White as this big, you know, meth maker. It's incredible to see him, how easily he can switch between characters.
Yeah. Now this movie's, you know, 8 years old now, but screenwriter Chris Terrio has written some things that we're all pretty familiar with as well.
Yeah, he just wrote the most recent Star Wars movie, and then he was rewritten Ben Affleck's script with when he played Batman, so they had a little reunion when they did this movie.
Yeah, and this movie does have, I mean, it's a historical docudrama, I guess you'd call it, but it really has almost a documentary look to it, doesn't it?
Yes. Argo was nominated for 7 Academy Awards and won for Best Editing, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Picture. George Clooney and Grant Heslov were the producing team behind this Oscar winner. Directing and starring in the lead role of this film was not an easy task. Ben Affleck used his prior acting as Bruce Wayne. He and Clooney are the perfect match to win their second Oscar as producer-director combo. This superstar staff doesn't stop there when cinematographer Roger Prieto, with his work on Martin Scorsese's Wolf of Wall Street, and most recent release of Irishman with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Al Pacino, is another reason why this movie won Best Picture, with quick, sudden camera movements and extreme close-ups to make this scene stressful and intense.
Vancouver.
Where were you born?
Toronto.
Toronto. Canadians don't pronounce the T.
Some Komite guard is actually going to know that.
If you're detained for questioning, they will bring in someone who knows that. Yes. Mary, who are the last 3 prime ministers of Canada?
Trudeau, Pearson, and Diefenbaker.
What's your father's name?
Howard.
What's his occupation?
Fisherman.
Where were you born?
Halifax, Nova Scotia.
What's your date of birth?
February 21st, 1952.
Good. What's your job on the movie?
Producer.
Associate producer. What was the last movie you produced?
High and Dry.
Who paid for that?
CFTC.
What's your middle name? What's your middle name? What's your middle name?
Leon?
Shoot him. He's an American spy. Look, they're gonna try to break you, okay? By trying to get you agitated. You have to know your resume back to front.
You really believe your little story is going to make a difference when there's a gun to our heads?
I think my story is the only thing between you and a gun to your head.
If Ben Affleck often gets ridiculed for a lot of the goofy movies, and like one was Geely that everybody just hated and he got mocked incessantly. But this movie is a pretty solid movie, and of course, getting nominated, was certainly well worth it, well worth the effort.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it is time for Real Flix trivia. As we go to break, what was the first actor to win 4 Academy Awards? Was it Marlon Brando, Meryl Streep, Jack Nicholson, or Katharine Hepburn? The answer when we come back to Real Flix.
Do you need help with jobs and interviews? Check out the Career Center in Coulter Hall across from the cafe in room 110. They have laptops to help with your job search that are always surrounded by helpful tips and info. On the front desk, they always have current job openings, positions, and internships available. They have a website called Purple Briefcase where you can get access to all of this 24/7. So come and get your future at the Career Center. Miss Coulter will be here to greet you.
My favorite thing about OCC is definitely the bonds that it allows you to build. I've made so many friends from the soccer team that are all excellent students as well, and I've made great friends in the nursing program. It really helps you continue on the journey because you have support wherever you go. I go to practice and I have copious amounts of support there. I wouldn't trade the memories that I've made here for anything.
When I think about OCC, I think about inclusion and just all the chances to learn about other people. One of my favorite places that I still actually hang out is definitely the Fishbowl in Moaney. The food's not bad either. What would make OCC a good choice? It was actually pretty, I believe the term is inexpensive.
We sponsor 17 varsity sports at OCC, so it's 6 in the fall, 2 in the winter, and then 9 in the spring. We've had a lot of athletic success, both from a team perspective as well as the individual. We've won numerous team national championships, primarily in men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, but also basketball and men's tennis. We can have students come here and gain more exposure than they normally would receive in high school. Hopefully there's an opportunity then to transfer on to a four-year school to continue their education and playing career.
So our Real Flix Oscar trivia, who was the first actor to win 4 Academy Awards? Well, of course, it was Katharine Hepburn. In 1933, she got her first Morning Glory, and all the way in 1981 for On Golden Pond. Jack Nicholson also has won 4 Academy Awards for the 1975 One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Welcome back. You're watching Real Flix, where we explored 4 2012 Best Picture nominees and winner. Next up, it's the 2019 Oscar winner for Best Picture, Parasite.
The 92nd Academy Awards were held on February 9th, featuring stiff competition with films Ford vs. Ferrari, Scorsese's The Irishman, and the World War I epic 1917. But it was no surprise that Bong Joon-ho's Parasite took home the coveted Best Picture honor, the first non-English speaking film to take home the Oscar.
Before the Oscars, Parasite already won the Palme d'Or, or Golden Prize, of Cannes, the best foreign language film at the Golden Globes, as well as Britain's Oscar equivalent, the BAFTA. The cast collectively won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Most Outstanding Cast.
저는 이게 위조나 범죄라고 생각하지 않아요.
참으로 시의적절하다.
풀타임으로 수업 어떻게 하시는지. Is it okay with you? 다솜이는 완전 예술가 체질인데.
그래서 그런 건지 그동안 미술쌤도 여러 명 바꿔가면서 해봤는데요.
제가 사람 하나가 휙 하고 떠올랐는데
Original screenplay writer and director Bong Joon-ho began writing the story in 2013 while directing the sci-fi thriller Snowpiercer, starring Chris Evans, Tilda Swinton, and Octavia Spencer. Parasite is a story of class conflict, usury, and deceit that culminates in a series of twists and turns that film critic website RogerEbert.com calls complete chaos, as if the film is ready to come apart. Although the story is a dark comedy exposing the ways people take advantage of each other, cinematographer Hong Kun-po took great care in finding the perfect time of day and position of the sun to optimize the warmth of natural lighting.
This is a must-see film for any film fan. And look at the HBO 6-hour miniseries of the same name, in development now with Madam McKay sharing and writing.
So whether they become Oscar contenders or not, ScreenRant.com is anticipating these to be the top nominated films of 2020. Let's start with number 10. All right, Fast and Furious number 9, Fast and Furious 9, The Kingsmen, number 8, Dune, Wonder Woman 1984, Mulan, Black Widow, No Time to Die, Top Gun, Sonic the Hedgehog, and at number 1, it's Birds of Prey, The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That's it for Real Flix 6 Weeks. Next time it's 2013 Best Picture Edition featuring The Wolf of Wall Street, 12 Years a Slave, Her, and Gravity. For Rosa Galavati, Zach Katz, Ryan Dunn, and Brian Morrissey, I'm Mark Ballard. That is a wrap.